Hey everybody! Today's video is a little bit different. I'm going to show you one of my favorite on-the-go watercolor tools. This is very fun, and I do paint out in the world quite a bit, and so I have probably 80 billion different tools to help me do that, and this is just one of them. This is what it looks like. Now I have a multi-liner and my favorite pencil just stuck through the little loop that holds this thing together along with an eraser. That is what it's designed to do. And this is the very important piece that you need. So hang on to that. This is the second most important piece that you need. That holds the two plastic water containers together. So I'll put these together, but actually I need to open this up so I can see what I'm doing. So I'll open that up so I can find that little channel. This is quite easy to put together once you can see what you're doing. You attach both water containers to the end and open that up. And there you have your mixing wells, you have 12 half pans, you have 2 water containers, and you have a brush. You have everything you need. So the metal piece fits nicely onto the band. And then just to make sure that I don't lose this out in the woods, I always just slide it onto one of the water containers. And then they have this cute little travel brush, which I love. So I'm going to fill these with sort of a new lineup for me. I typically travel with splits from my split group, and those are in larger metal tins. And if I just want something small, I have a bunch of smaller things like this that I'll grab if I'm out at a restaurant or an airport. Oh, let's talk about not keeping your paint in the tube. I'm glad that this happened on camera. This is why you always want to pan your watercolor. This is sort of why I started my watercolor split group. Look at it exploding out of there now that I've removed the little plug in the neck. These can dry and you can completely waste a whole tube of watercolor if there's any little defect in the tube or for lots of reasons. So it is important that you pan up your watercolor or you join my split group and you have me do it for you. So I can just leave that on my craft mat and I can paint with it, or once it cures, I can move it into a palette. It's not that that paint isn't good anymore, but if you let the whole tube go like that, the binder is going to separate and crystallize, and you're not going to be able to work with it anymore. I'm going to get all the little bits out so I don't contaminate my colors. That last color that I just put in there was Indian Yellow, which is one of my favorites. Although, if I'm being honest, I like all the yellows. This is Lemon Yellow, so you can really see the difference there. Next up is Green Gold. I chose colors that I thought would mix well together. And then Sap Green. Sap Green is actually the reason that my split group started. Lori and I needed sap green and some other landscape colors for a class, and that morphed into a giant group and literally tens of thousands of half pans of watercolor that I've filled over the last couple years so that card makers can afford Daniel Smith top quality artist grade watercolor. It's really kind of impossible without that. So that is the blue section. I don't have a violet in this little selection, but my last blue has a touch of violet in it. I have phthalo blue green shade, ultramarine blue, and indanthrone blue. And you'll see what you can do with all of these colors shortly. Isn't that beautiful? So now I'm going to make a swatch, and I want it in this horizontal orientation because I need it to match what's in the palette. And you don't even really need color names. You can put them on here. But this is just a good visual when you're out in the field painting. Now, one tip on swatching, which I think you should do every time you get a medium, It really helps you be able to use the products if you can see them. But you saw that I had a multi-liner attached to the outside of this. You do not want to use a porous point pen on cold pressed watercolor paper. If you've ever tried, you'll know why I'm saying this. You've ruined a couple of porous point pens by now, as have I. When I label my swatches, or if I'm just doing a sketch and I want to take notes on what pigments I used or the place that I was, the date, because that's what I like to do for my sketches. They're sort of like a little diary for me. I just use a black gel pen. So those have the metal point and a roller ball, and that makes friends with cold pressed paper a lot better than a porous point pen does. So don't use a porous point pen. I can't say that enough. Or if you do, just know that it's a disposable pen because that's what I found out. Okay, so I'm wrapping up my swatch. That was ultramarine blue. This is indanthrone blue, which, as you can see, has a little purple hue to it, just enough that I'll be able to do what I need to do with these mixing colors. So there you have it. There is my fun little travel palette. I'm ready to hit up the Wildflower Center and do some sketching. Thanks so much for watching.